Be honest, how many times have you laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, completely ignoring the fact that you have to wake up soon, just so you can finish playing out a highly detailed, completely fake scenario in your head? You are not losing your mind. When you lie down and turn off the lights, you enter a specific neurobiological phase transition. It is recognized in cognitive psychology as the sleep onset transition. The specific storylines your brain chooses to invent during these few minutes reflect your internal state and influence your ability to enter deep rest. The descent into sleep is a gradual process of spatial decoupling where different parts of your brain log off at different times. Look at the brain powering down. The frontoparietal network, responsible for strict logic, is the first to go dark. But as this logical manager leaves, the default mode network flares up with unrestrained activity, leaving the creative interns in charge. Without the prefrontal cortex enforcing logical coherence, your thoughts drift naturally into the bizarre. Combine that hypoassociative mind with a physical body that is effectively paralyzed in the dark, and you have the biological scaffolding for creating intense fake scenarios. Psychologist Jerome Sinner categorized the spontaneous flow of our thoughts into 3 distinct daydreaming styles. If you routinely imagine optimistic futures or structured, pleasant narratives, like finally getting that dream apartment, you are engaging in positive, constructive daydreaming. This is a healthy way to process complex emotional experiences from a safe psychological distance. These scenarios keep your cortisol levels low and mimic the natural hallucinatory imagery required to build a bridge to sleep. If you often find yourself deep down a rabbit hole of psychology and self-discovery at 2 a.m., hit the subscribe button to join a community of people trying to figure out why our brains do the weird things they do. On the other end of the spectrum, things get difficult. If your pre-sleep imagination aligns with the guilty dysphoric style, your fake scenarios mutate into obsessive fantasies. You replay arguments, you visualize revenge, and agonize over catastrophic failures. Normal sleepers transition into rest via soft, visual, dreamlike imagery. Insomniacs, however, are often trapped in analytical, verbal thinking. They are essentially talking to themselves in the dark, and any images they do see are overwhelmingly negative. These stressful fake scenarios trigger the sympathetic nervous system. Your heart rate spikes and your muscles tense up, because your brain treats these invented threats as physical dangers. You are trapped in a state of cognitive hyperarousal. For some, pre-sleep imagination is a compulsion. This is maladaptive daydreaming, where individuals construct parallel universes, known as paracosms, built with complex chronologies and recurring characters. The total sensory deprivation of a dark, quiet bedroom provides the incubator for this level of storytelling. The internal worlds are so vivid that individuals might physically react in bed, crying, smiling, or whispering to themselves. Falling asleep requires you to surrender conscious narrative control. For the maladaptive daydreamer, the urge to continue the storyline overrides the biological requirement to sleep. It operates like an addiction. When you spend hours a night in these emotional scenarios, your brain struggles to separate wakefulness from imagination. The neural activation of imagining a scene is very close to a real memory. This results in dream reality confusion, where you struggle to remember if a conversation happened in real life or in your head. If any of this resonates, you know the frustration of begging your brain to turn off. But social psychologist Daniel Wegner identified a trap called the ironic process theory, which explains why you can't force yourself to stop overthinking in bed. The conscious operating process searches for relaxing thoughts. Because you're tired, that effortful loop steadily shrinks and fails. The unconscious monitoring process never gets tired. It constantly scans your mind, targeting a single disruptive node to ensure you aren't thinking about the forbidden fake scenario. If this explains why you are always exhausted, send this to that one friend who constantly runs on 0 hours of sleep because they overthink at night. By constantly checking to see if you are thinking about the stressful storyline, the monitoring process pushes that exact scenario right back to the front of your mind. Trying to force sleep through suppression creates a rebound effect that keeps you awake. Because the sleep onset mechanism operates below your conscious control, you cannot just command your mind to be clear. You have to engineer your pre-sleep state. One way to do this is a technique developed by cognitive scientist Luc Boudoir called cognitive shuffling. When deep in anxious rumination or maladaptive paracosm, your brain engages in sense-making. Connecting plot points signals that you are doing survival-level work, which keeps you awake. To disrupt this, visualize a sequence of completely random, unconnected objects for a few seconds each. Picture a bicycle, now a loaf of bread, now a pine cone, now a blue jacket. By constantly shifting the visual target, as the bicycle folds into a loaf of bread and erupts into a pine cone, without drawing any logical connection between them, you shatter the brain's ability to construct a narrative. This scattered imagery mimics the disjointed microdreams that naturally occur right before you fall asleep. Your subcortical brain detects this lack of logical coherence, assumes you are falling asleep naturally, and triggers deep rest, bypassing the rebound effect. The pre-sleep window functions as a mirror, showing the anxieties and needs that remain unresolved during the day. By understanding this neurobiology and respecting the brain's need to process imagery, you don't have to be a victim of your own imagination. You can stop fighting fake scenarios, learn to shuffle the deck, and finally get sleep. To keep exploring how your brain functions at its limits, watch this next video and make sure you hit subscribe.